Lance set the standard for champions by introducing us to Hyper Beams to the face and illegal Pokemon. But he's also the first Pokemon character who decided that if police won't stop crime, then genocide might? Why arrest, reason with, or investigate when you can combine them all into a nice big explosion? Goodbye, Vermilion. He may be seen as a hero, a mentor, a champion, but that blood-stained hair reveals another side of him: corruption and power abuse from the Pokemon League. Lance is one of the most iconic characters in Pokemon history, a Dragon Master and champion in Kanto and Johto. He first appears in Red and Blue as the final Elite Four member, armed with a cape, mysterious aura, and a big fat Dragonite. He believes Pokemon exist to protect the world, and that people who misuse them have forfeited their right to mercy. This mindset turns him into a vigilante, and in the manga, straight up psychotic, all in the name of justice. Lance's name is straightforward and medieval, as it's the main weapon used by knights. In Japanese, he's known as Wataru, meaning to sail or to soar. Combining this with Dragonite's lore of saving people lost at sea, and Lance's identity revolving around the skies, makes this a perfect fit. Dragons in Pokemon lore are rare, ancient, and notoriously difficult to raise. Lance embodies the Dragonite archetype found across global mythologies, a warrior who doesn't slay dragons, but earns their respect. In Japanese folklore, dragons are divine beings tied to storms, seas, and balance. In Western myth, they are forces of chaos. Lance stands at the intersection of both, a human who commands dragons without fully domesticating them. His outfit reinforces this. The flowing cape, armor-like uniform, and commanding stance make him look like someone who belongs in legend. Lance is first seen in Generation 1 Red and Blue, when you step into his room for a battle. No build-up, no foreshadowing, just a long corridor, and boom, the battle begins. His Pokemon are Gyarados, 2 Dragonairs, Aerodactyl, and his signature Dragonite. He blasts Hyper Beams with all of his Pokemon, and trust me, they hurt. He has a small flaw though. If you have a Ghost type, which pretty much means Gengar at this point, he cannot touch you with Aerodactyl or Dragonite. In Yellow and Fire Red and Leaf Green, he gets some moveset buffs. If you rematch him in Fire Red and Leaf Green, his team is all juiced up, ranging from level 66 to 72, with great coverage, but still Hyper Beams because he can't seem to let go of them. Step into Generation 2, and Lance actually has a role in the story. When the red Gyarados is rampaging around at the Lake of Rage, what does this almighty trainer do? He just watches some 10-year-old kid fight it, then flies away when the show is over. If you are enjoying this show so far, please leave a like and subscribe. I'm trying to reach 750 by the end of the year. I know it's tight, but we can do it. He's found harassing some innocent shop staff in Mahogany Town by hyper beaming them. So, just the usual, because they're Team Rocket in disguise. You end up helping him blast through their headquarters, and you find out his deep dark secret. He has a level 40 Dragonite. Now you know he's a serious threat, who turns out to be the champion. Oh baby, they really spiced up his party this time. He has a new Charizard, and that's it. Oh yeah, how could I forget? 3 damn Dragonites, all underleveled. This battle is seriously tough, even if you abuse ice moves, as all of his Pokemon pack a punch. I'm talking Dragon Rush Dragonites, Waterfall Gyarados, Shadow Claw Charizard. So much for those ghost types, eh? Strong moves, excellent coverage, action replay, perfect balance for a champion. Once you have 16 badges, you can battle a disgusting version of Lance in a rematch. This time, he is not playing around. His Pokemon are around level 70, with his Dragonite at a whopping 75. Don't forget his addition of Salamence, Garchomp, and loser-ass Altaria. Where the hell is Tyranitar? I must point out that his Dragonite sucks now, as it has no physical moves. An interesting decision. You can also return to the Dragon's Den to battle Lance and Claire in a double battle. This battle is really just Lance trying not to break his own back by carrying Claire. If you want to battle Lance at his best, then go to the Pokemon World Tournament in Black and White 2. He doesn't have a single useless move on any of the Pokemon on his roster. All of them hit like a truck, and he's using a competitive approach. Choice Scarf Haxorus, White Herb Hydreigon, and Scope Lens Kingdra. If you think you're gonna run through him with ice moves, think again. Once his Dragonite survives with a Focus Sash, Draco meteors the ever-living crap out of you, then Extreme Speeds you if you survive the first attack. This is the best representation of Lance the Dragon Master. Lance has a huge role outside of being a champion in the anime. He's part of a group called the G-Men, who investigate and arrest anyone mistreating Pokemon. Ash and crew run into a red Gyarados, and Team Rocket are there to steal it, so Lance and Dragonite swoop in and blow Team Rocket away. Lance meets up with the crew, and they seem to recognize him as the undisputed and unbeatable champion of the Elite Four. He's extremely humble and says, "I don't know about all of that, but yeah, that's me." He's investigating the foul play at the Lake of Rage. Related to some kind of experiment, Ash asks to help, and Lance says, "Shouldn't you be in school?" and points them to Mahogany Town. Team Rocket get their dirty hands on the red Gyarados, and the crew move in to help. It turns out that Lance infiltrated Team Rocket by wearing their uniform and finds out about some evolution inducement wave. Not gonna lie, I was about to rip into Team Rocket for not noticing Lance, but I didn't even notice him. The waves make all the Pokemon sleepy, leaving Ash and friends defenseless. They're captured and thrown in jail while Lance watches. Why doesn't he just let the Dragonite out and start blowing up things? The three goofballs attempt to take Pikachu out of jail and release it from the capture device. And everyone else, because they're idiots? Lance pulls in and tries to make G-Men a thing. He should demote himself from champion after this embarrassment. He hits them with a twister and they're blasting off again. Tyson challenges Lance and tries to make him pay with 2 Fearow. Dragonite does whatever it wants, backhands them both at the same time, zaps them a little bit, then they have a Hyper Beam clash. Lance's favorite. He twisters them for the final blow, and Officer Jenny comes in to arrest Tyson. Lance heads off to face the rampaging Gyarados itself. They have a few beam clashes, but Dragonite gains the upper hand, and down goes the beast. Lance promises to rid it of all its pain and sorrow. With another Hyper Beam, he calls dibs and catches it. Lance doesn't show up again until Ruby and Sapphire, where he again dresses up as the enemy and sneaks on their ship. How does he keep getting away with this? He spots Ash, and it's kind of funny how these two always end up in the same situation. Pikachu gets possessed by the blue orb, and Lance promises to save Pikachu, then goes with Team Magma for the next mission. This leads to a battle with Kyogre. Gyarados comes out and fires a Hyper Beam. Unfortunately, Kyogre out-Hyper Beams him. Possessed Pikachu wakes up Groudon, they have a quick catfight, and the orbs disintegrate. And Lance wasn't whooped on screen. Yet. In Pokemon Journeys, Ash and Go get tickets to the World Championship Finals, Lance vs Leon, to determine the best in the world. We're straight into Charizard vs Gyarados. They both start off fast and explosive, and it's pretty even in the beginning. Gyarados landing Aqua Tail and Ice Fangs, and Charizard landing Thunder Punch and Fire Spin. They decide to stop playing around and bring out the stunts. Gigantamax Charizard and Dynamax Gyarados. Gyarados seems completely outmatched, with a direct hit from Max Geyser doing nothing to Charizard, while Charizard zaps it with Max Lightning and closes the show with its signature G-Max Wildfire, which leaves us with Toasted Serpent. Lance is a great sport and congratulates Leon. He even says he traveled to the Galar Dragon Gym and got inspiration from their uniforms. He later enters the Masters tournament to try and claim that #1 spot. He's matched against Diantha in the first round, an awful matchup. They begin with Dragonite versus Aurorus, and Lance opens with a Hyper Beam, which pierces through Light Screen. but now Dragonite is left recharging. This leaves it wide open for a deadly 4 times effective Blizzard, but Dragonite tanks it like a champ and gives Aurorus a taste of its own 4 times effective move, Body Press. Reflect stops the next one just so Aurorus can get a nice view of Dragonite's dad bod. Rock Slide is blocked by Dragonite's nipples, and he finishes Aurorus off. Lance returns Dragonite for Gyarados to battle Gourgeist. Gourgeist is out here trick-or-treating in December, and Gyarados absolutely hates Halloween. They exchange Dragon Pulses and Shadow Sneaks, injuring each other quite badly, but Gyarados goes down. Lance sends out Hydreigon. Gourgeist goes trick-or-treating again as it didn't get enough candy from the last house, and Hydreigon blasts it with 2 Dark Pulses to send it into Dreamland. Diantha's Ace Gardevoir comes out and Mega Evolves straight off the bat. Now Hydreigon fires off a hefty flash cannon, but apparently Psychic can just say screw you to anything in this show. Mega Gardevoir fires off a 4 times effective earth-shattering Moonblast, and triple-headed dummy Hydreigon stares at the shiny ball and eats it, only to get his heads blasted clean off. Lance Dynamaxes his Dragonite, Gardevoir uses Moonblast, which slices through Max Hailstorm, and Dragonite tanks it. Dragonite uses Max Wormwind to nullify Shadow Ball. Dynamax runs out, and he fires off another useless Hyper Beam, and he gets Moonblasted in the face. Following defeat, Lance leaves and he wishes Ash good luck. He does seem in good spirits the next day while he's watching Ash battle Leon, looking out for his fellow Cantonian. In Pokemon Adventures, Lance was born in the Viridian Forest, which gave him the special powers of healing Pokemon, reading their minds, and the ability to control dragons. As a boy, he came across a Dratini, sick and helpless due to industrial pollution caused by the power plant. This sight caused Lance to despise humans, as they're the root cause of this issue, and so he vowed to eradicate all humans, with the help of the Elite Four. To carry out this plan, they require the 8 badges. There's an unsettling feeling as Lance is observing the red versus blue battle for the championship. His expression is ominous. Later on, he's seen with Agatha discussing the missing 8th badge, but nobody knows where Giovanni is. Yellow gets an advert for a surfing competition after saving a guy from drowning. When she arrives at the competition, the prize is announced to be a Dragonair. When it's shown, it starts wreaking havoc because Lance is controlling it. Lance blasts Vermilion City to smithereens. While looking for Red, instead of just giving him a phone call, Yellow starts asking questions, but Lance hates quizzes and starts attacking her. Pikachu's like, "Oh no you don't," and gets backhanded too. He finishes the battle and tells them to scram while they're slowly fading away. Yellow has a second wind, but he disappears. He's preparing for his big attack on the world. The other Elite Four members are all battling, and he decides to go off and find Yellow to finish the job, who is with Blaine at the time. He decides to open with a good old Hyper Beam, so Blaine whips out his Mewtwo to catch it. We're all surprised at this point, but Lance just laughs as he had heard about Mewtwo before, and he calls it a disgusting result of human experimentation. Lance's Pokemon and Mewtwo go back and forth for a while, with Mewtwo clearly having the advantage and getting some good hits in. Lance is getting annoyed at this Mewtwo who's giving him a tough time and starts to send out more Pokemon. He knows that Blaine is soul linked with Mewtwo, and due to Blaine having a weaker physical body and the strain caused in controlling Mewtwo, it's basically on a timer. Feeling the end of their timer, Mewtwo's final attack is to destroy Lance's Pokeballs to prevent any more Pokemon entering the battlefield. Blaine collapses. Unfortunately, Lance's Pokemon were already out of their Pokeballs prior to the battle. Lance plays mind games with Mewtwo and tells it to just return itself as the battle is causing serious injuries to Blaine. So it does. Yellow prepares to battle Lance alone, as Lance reveals his ability to heal his Pokemon. Dragonite begins by firing at the volcano nearby, making it erupt, then flies over to Yellow's Pokemon and smacks them all at the same time. Yellow's like, oh boy, time for plan B, and says Lance has amazing powers, he should use them for good. This plan didn't work either, as Lance gets extremely angry and tries to melt Yellow in the lava. He reveals some more powers that he has been using with his dragon Pokemon, traveling through the sky and seas, controlling energy blast direction, controlling the weather, and combining their attacks. He compliments Yellow on making him use this much power. Yellow's like, yeah, whatevs, and makes a lava whirlpool with Pikachu, which sucks Lance into it. He's not going down that easily. He rises up with a bubble shield which protected him. He fires off some invisible bubbles by using science. The bubbles are primary colors which combine into pure light and become invisible under the sun. Now that is a 500 IQ play. As Yellow is about to lose, Giovanni of all people comes to save her. Giovanni says he can defeat Lance as he too was born with magical powers. Giovanni creates a sandstorm by shielding himself with boulders against the bubbles and goes to battle. Lance just hyperbeams the hell out of everything in sight, but Giovanni was making an opening for a twin needle attack from the blind spot. It looked like Giovanni was about to finish Lance, but Lance draws the power from Giovanni's 8th badge. Now, with all of the badge's powers, he plays his trump card and summons the spirit of Lugia. His Dragonite swoops in and takes him out of danger, and is later revealed to be on the brink of death. After all this battling and swimming through the lava, Lance doesn't treat his Pokemon well at all. Just as Lance was about to end it all by evaporating the universe, Yellow remembers that the plot is in her favor and instantly evolves all of her Pokemon at the same time, and they use a combined attack on Lugia. The other main characters all come out of nowhere with their plot powers ready, and Pikachu uses a move that doesn't exist, Mega Volt, to send Lance to the next dimension. He does survive, but that's the end of Lance as the World Terror. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this Lance deep dive and want more, please leave a like and subscribe. Comment what version of Lance you thought was the most interesting. I think the darker side of his manga counterpart added a level of urgency, considering there are very few people that can match his power. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you all in the next one.